Welcome back to Northern High 420. Today we have the DaVinci IQ Core, and we'll be doing our walk and talk on this one. I've had this for a few months now, and I've been kind of delaying the walk and talk because not one of my favorite vapes, but we'll go over it anyways. It's an all conduction unit. It's very small. Design wise, it looks pretty nice. Comes with two mouthpieces. Second mouthpiece, you wouldn't have this stem here. It would just be a hole inside of this spot here. So it makes it a little more compact. Price wise, about 200 bucks. So it's their most budget oriented DaVinci. So if you're ever looking at trying one out, not the worst place to start at, the cheaper one. We'll go ahead and fire this up and take a first rip and then start going over it. 5 clicks to turn it on. Light panel shows your battery indicator. Be able to see it. But it's heating up right now. 120. You have buttons on the side to adjust the temperature and power. Pretty bare bones as far as feature goes. Heats up super slow, so we might be here a while. We're at 160. Definitely not a fast vape. If you're waiting for something to get up to temp, this one takes a while. Waiting for this thing to heat up, I always think it turns itself off. $330. Walk and talk will be over by the time this thing heats up. You have your power levels right here. There's 4 of them. Or you can dial it by temp. If you double click this, you can dial it in by temp too. So you can see I'm changing it right here. Double click it again. Now you're down to more like presets. And we're at temp now. Take our first rip. Light little cloud. Pretty tasty on the first rip. Another little cloud on the second one. Flavor's still pretty good on the second one. Not a lot of vapor though. You can see mine dancing around at temp right now. It's supposed to be at 430, but it's dancing around 420. Take another rip. A little better cloud on that one. Still pretty tasty. Flavor is not bad. I would say flavor versus the packs is definitely a little better. Wish I had a pack still. I would side by side them. Battle of the weakest hitter. And a little cloud. Take another rip. At 430 again. A little better cloud. Mine sometimes goes back to where it's like it's reheating. You'll say it's at like 410 or 390 and then I have to wait a little bit. Right now it's holding steady. It's kind of annoying. I'm not sure if that's normal on another one. Okay, cloud. Come on, Preston. So on mine, what I've noticed is a lot of times it will drop in temp and then I have to wait for it to heat back up. I just went through it back there and now it's back at 430 and seems to be holding steady. So I don't know if I have a defect or something, but I've noticed that a few times the last couple times I tried it. A little better cloud. Come on, Preston. Being at 430, the flavor is still pretty good. Hit strength, while the clouds were better, I wouldn't call it anything to write home about. Really gets me nowhere. A little cloud, we'll take a look at the bowl. Probably a couple more rips. Finish them up right here. Hold on, Preston. Another light cloud. Another light cloud. 5 clicks, turn it off. We'll look at the ABV. Without a doubt, the worst bowl I've done on a walk and talk. I haven't tried somebody else's packing method where you pack it tighter and then put a pinhole through it for a little bit of airflow, and still dog shit. As you can see, the ABB looks pretty good. No real surprise there. It's conduction vape. They always look good. They're always even. One of the reasons I don't care about ABB right there. Best ABB comes from the worst vapes. Come on, Preston. So we'll let it cool down a little bit before we pack another bowl and go over some of my thoughts. Size wise, it's really nice. As far as the carry, it worked really good for walking, things like that. When I have gotten effects off it, tends to be what you would expect from a conduction vape, kind of stony. Hit strength, very weak. Even at its top temperature, it's very weak. And I've tried different packs. I've tried loose, tight, tight with a pinhole, different grind consistencies. And it's pretty much the same each time. Underwhelming. Not a lot of vapor. Sometimes I can get a decent hit off of it, but it'd be lighter than what we seen last week with the E's in 3 or the E's in 2. Both those hit harder. Most direct comparisons, really, and I'm just going to compare it to other conduction vapes that I know of, which would be my PAX 3, which was my very first vape. Hit strength, I think the PAX 3 hit better than this. I remember getting better clouds out of it. It never really got me anywhere, but definitely got better clouds. And we'll try again in a minute. The Starry is kind of a ripper. Out of all the conduction ones I've tried, that's been probably my favorite, because it does provide a little bit of hit strength. Nice stony effects. And then trying to get a Zeus from T-Vape to try. I'll do a comparison with that one. And then I have a vape that I haven't shown yet, other than maybe a hit on Instagram where I showed it. But it's a Yeezin U1C. I think it runs only like $40. Hits a little less than a Starry, but better than this or the PAX. The bowl is ceramic. And then the cover that goes over the bowl has some glass on it, so it's not getting a silicone touching the path there. The only downside is when it gets to the mouthpiece is silicone. So flavor could have been better, but it's probably tastes better than this and hits better for 40 bucks. And about the size of a PAX. Might show that one next week. So right now I would say this is the worst conduction vape I've used. Hit strength poor, worse than any of the other ones. I think the pack's flow hit better as far as actually getting a rip off of it. The only vape that I have a better opinion of than this is that AIS vape I reviewed, which was terrible. Couldn't get vapor out of it because it just sucked it straight up. So we'll go ahead and pack one more up and waste a little more. Preston, stay out of the water. We got that blue-green algae around this area. I don't really want them in the water right now. One of the nice things is when you pour the herb in, you can be kind of sloppy like that because this is very slick. It kind of funnels down into the bowl. One design I like. We're gonna pack a little full. Give it its best chance. So on the UNC, this is glass, which is kind of cool. I know some of you guys like your conduction vapes. I like conduction rips when I can get a good one. Otherwise, I'm not a huge fan, but they tend to be a little bit more slow sippers. This would be the slowest of sippers. If you like slow sippers, this is it. Would not recommend it though. And that's the part that loses me with packs, is that the Starry and even like the UNC. So basically, budget garbage brands make better devices than the companies with the biggest amount of money to actually put into R&D. They stick it all into like marketing. We'll go ahead and heat this one back up. It's at 290 right now. We'll probably do our bowl right up over here. It's a nice little spot I like to come at night and take my dogs for walks. But right now with the blue-green algae, I don't really want them in the water. Probably like torture. And we're at 400 degrees. Beautiful spot though. See if we get better clouds here. Plus we got sunlight, so you might be able to see it. DaVinci should hook me up with a sponsorship for giving them this good of lighting to see this vapor. Hang on. Impressive. Come on, Pop. Beach Bar House is better, dude. Another rip. A little better cloud. Too bad the wind took it away. Flavor's still pretty good. Be one positive is being a lighter hitter for conduction. I get like 5 or 6 good rips instead of 2 or 3 before it tastes like shit. Another little cloud. Also gives me a little bit of a tickle. This one makes me cough. Another decent cloud for this device. Come on, Preston. Come on, pup. Yeah, you want to get wrapped up, huh? Take a look. Not many vapes, I just want it to be over with, but this is one of them. Couple more rips. Cloud went that way, but it's probably the best one. Come on, Preston. Pup. Come on, buddy. I'm gonna call that good. Honestly, using this vape, I feel like I'm just standing out here fucking around. I don't feel like I'm even vaping. It's like playing with yourself, but less fun. Be the DaVinci slogan from now on. DaVinci. It's like playing with yourself, but less fun. Exciting. Looks cleaned out. That's what the chamber looks like. ABV again, looks pretty good. Probably had a few more puffs in it, but I'm not that interested. So now on to my final thoughts for the DaVinci IQ Core. At 200 bucks, it really doesn't make sense to purchase this device. It works not as good as a standard like $100 Starry or even Yeezen's $40 off, or even Yeezen's $40 offering. Works better than this. One of the lightest vapes I've ever used. Flavor is decent. Hit strength is poor. Even at its best, the hit strength is poor. It gets hot. Like right now, it's packs flow warm. Size-wise, pretty nice. Design, I think it looks good. If this worked well, this would probably be something I would use. Batteries, I think I get like 6 bowls of charge on it. If you're looking for something you can pack and sit on the couch for with 10 minutes and probably get hits out of it still, this might be it. It's that slow. I don't look at that as a benefit most of the time. That just means your vape is slow. So for me, when I was testing, I was playing some games and I seriously was using the full session length, which I believe is 10 minutes, which is crazy for me. And really never feeling effects. I did feel a little bit of a stony effect at times on it, but that was like the 3 days that this was all that I was using. So when I get a vape, I usually try to do like 1 to 3 days where it's the only device I use. And back then I was getting a little bit of effects off of it, but not much. So I'm going to do my final thoughts on DaVinci IQ Core now with a different camera, testing this one out. I think for 200 bucks it's overpriced. You can get a better conduction vape with the Starry or even the Yeezen U1C. I believe even the packs, personally, I think works a little better than this does. Flavor is better on this than the other ones I've tried, but I don't think it's enough. It's the weakest hitter. Maybe the other DaVinci series ones work better, but this one does not work very well. So out of the conduction vapes I tried, this is my least favorite. Design wise, looks good, nice and small. I think the color is really nice. They do a nice fit and finish on it. This little LED status bar is pretty cool where you can see your presets along with the temperature. This loading spot right here, it's very easy to load. The cleaning kind of sucks. You got to pull out that plug right there on the left and then shove a brush down in there. So it's a little extra to clean. Removable 18650 underneath that door there. Doesn't always close down really well. You have to kind of fiddle with it. I've had a lot of times where it pops back open. I like this mouthpiece better. The original mouthpiece does look better on the device, but this just works better for me. Overall, not a fan. I don't think it works very well. I do not recommend this vape, but if you are looking for something to sit on the couch for a long time on sip on it for the full 10 minutes, this might be something to look at. This is one of the few occasions where I could say that I actually sat on a couch and used the vape for 10 minutes straight. It was this one, just waiting for it to get through all the little baby puffs and eventually finished. I did have a little bit of stony effects, but that's not my style of vaping. I don't like it. Personally, I think this is kind of a trash product. So about 6 bowls of charge for me. I just don't like it very much. Till next time, see you later. Goodbye.